Hey y'all, it's Tanisha Renee, and this is the Wisdom Well Heavens Bar, and it is definitely not happy hour. Well, it's happy hour somewhere. Ain't that what they say? Anyways, it's been a minute, and the reason being is I've been sipping slow, but definitely drinking. And it's important. I was beating myself up like, yeah, I haven't posted a video. I haven't poured out. And the fact of the matter is, you can't pour out what you don't have. It doesn't mean that I don't have so much to pour out because of experiences and things like that. But it's important to take the time to sip your own cup, because sometimes you need to be filled up. And so I was being filled up, sipping, sipping. And it was hard to swallow. Some of it was hard to swallow. And so I had to take my time. And so I'm going to say to you, when things come up in life and you need to pause, stop, retreat, examine, listen, absorb the wisdom that is there for you definitely in your situation or through your experience. Take that time for yourself so that you can show up later for in whatever capacity you need to. But it's important. A lot of times we just go. We are overly concerned with other people and not concerned enough with ourselves. And sometimes that can be detrimental, because when you don't take the time you need for yourself, you can't show up the way you would if you had. It doesn't mean you can't show up, but 100%, or show up with everything you have, show up with added wisdom, and therefore making changes, changing course, shifting where you need to shift, modifying where you need to modify, bringing yourself to be able to adapt to new circumstances and new situations. Change is challenging, and it's necessary for growth and evolution, but it is challenging. And so show yourself some grace and sip from your own cup before you decide to share or pour out or try to dig up a well to pour out to other people. I always sip first. And one of the things that I've had to swallow is the realization that no one else is responsible for you but you. No matter if you've put people in places or gave them positions in your life and you've had expectations for them to be responsible for you, take care of you, have your back or your front, your sides, whatever the case may be. At the beginning and the end of the day, you have to be responsible for yourself. It's always a blessing for people to show up in that way. It's always a blessing when it happens. But I think that if you put the entire responsibility into someone else's hands, you are setting yourself up, because people have stuff. People have stuff. You have stuff, I have stuff, and other people have stuff. And sometimes the stuff has to be filtered through, has to be put in place, has to be thrown out. And so sometimes people might not show up for you the way you would like them to, the way you expected them to, because they're dealing with their own stuff. And that's hard to swallow when you are seeing it from your perspective and you wanted it to go the way you wanted it to go, or however you imagine. This is what we call grace, right? The consideration that whatever happened, because someone else didn't show up for you the way you wanted them to in your life, could very well be happening in those people's lives, right? It's the stuff. And stuff is always going to be there. It's embedded in the saying, life be life, and life brings you stuff. And sometimes it's quick to get through, to sort out, to throw out, to shine up, whatever. And sometimes it takes some time, depending on how much stuff you got, the kind of stuff you have. If in your stuff is other people's stuff, then you got to sometimes give them back their stuff, or figure out what you're going to do with the stuff that you have that didn't belong to you. And so show yourself some grace by taking the time you need to filter through and go through your stuff, and show other people some grace. Because whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you think it has anything to do with you or not, everybody has stuff. And we want people to deal with their stuff. We want people to go through their stuff. Because if they go through their own stuff, the likeliness that their stuff becomes your stuff, it decreases. And so, because life gives us enough stuff for ourselves, we are rooting for people to deal with the stuff that pertains to them, and not just bring it to us, dump it on us, leave it with us. Because sometimes we don't know where the stuff came from. We don't even know what the stuff is. And so trying to figure out what to do with it can be a process in it of itself. So anyway, it's not an excuse as to why I hadn't seen y'all, talked to y'all, poured out to y'all. I had some stuff. And through the stuff was some wisdom. And I had to sip on that. And before I could come talk to you, I had to get it up out my throat. So I had to swallow it. And it was bittersweet. Hard to swallow. But it has grown me. And that's always the sweet stuff. If it grows you, if it helps you to evolve, if it helps you to be the best version of yourself, a better version of yourself, I don't even care how little. Better is better. And so, yeah, I'm better for it. I'm better for it. And so, give yourself some grace. Go through your stuff. Sip from your cup. Take care of you. Allow people to take care of them without holding a grudge, without having judgment. You don't know their story or their variables. We talked about that. And so, do what you need to do for you, and then get back on track. Move forward and show up. Show up and show out. the way you can, the best way you can. As long as you are giving your best, that's all you can do. It doesn't matter if that's all people are asking for, because sometimes people are asking for you to put on a cape, and maybe you need to wash your cape, take it to the cleaners, whatever the case may be. And sometimes it's just not healthy to put on a superhuman cape, because by ourselves we are not superhumans. However, shameless plug, with God, anything is possible with God. And I stand by that for sure. It's He who pours my cup. And so, after a little sipping, I'm good. I'm here. And I'll be seeing y'all. Don't forget, sip slow. But do drink. And take care of you.